Greater light. My mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually. God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence before the foundations of my mother's womb. Before the foundations of all this man-made mumbo jumbo, God created the perfect solution to every single one of my needs. Um, my mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually. God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence. I am always poised, balanced, serene, and calm these days because I know God provided the perfect solution to every single one of my needs. Within this solution, within the blood, power in the blood, there's power in the blood. There's power, wonder working power. But they don't want to use blood anymore. They want 3D kidneys, 3D hearts, and they want you in 4G, 5G, and they want to have you under Prime Minister Modi and Disney's uh, telebroadcasting system, upload you in light code. We going back to Disney today. We going back to the Epcot Center. They knew everything was lined up perfectly in perfect order for a reason. Why I kept talking about Epcot. Elon Musk. No, that's not your real name. Elon, what is your name? Elon, I told you I would figure out what you were up to, huh? Didn't I tell you I would figure out what you were up to? Didn't I tell you it wouldn't take me long to figure out your scam, scheming behind, huh? Elon. You take it from the bottom, I take it from the top, huh? Elon, you can't win, huh? You could be Rocky Balboa today, huh? And I will be the lady standing on the stairs. You can't win. There's no Mars for you. Hey, y'all, there's no Mars for you either. If you are trying to be part of the Mars Society, they are lying to you. And Flat Earth and Mars Society, they all work together. And they want you in tents. Flat Earth, the Mars Society, and the Aboriginals all work together. Wait, nope. The Flat Earth, the Mars Society, the Aboriginals, the Pan-Africans, they all work together. Nope. The Flat Earth, the Mars Society, the Aboriginals, the Pan-Africans, and the wholeness of it all, they all work together. The Beast and the Rogans, they all work. The Rogues, they all work together. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. No, they don't. They work with the panhandles to the coast, from shore to shore, to sea to side, shining sea. They work with Hawaii. Do they have a Disney in Hawaii? Do they have a Disney in Hawaii? You get your Bibles out now, because you know I'm going to be going into scripture too. Remember, I left off in John, and I'm going back to John. But first I had to come play in the mud. I had to play in the muddy waters. You don't want no more proof that they are ready to purchase your light code. And if you can't see, you're going to be trapped in their new Epcot centers. You're going to be trapped in their new Epcot centers. You're going to be left behind right here in their mess. You don't want to be left behind in what they got planned. Do you really want to be left behind in what they got planned? Look. Ooh, woo. Look at here, boy, look at here. Boy, look at here. Look, I'm going to go come to you in Federal Register, right? And I'm going to show you some documents. I made a statement on my last stream, and I said, y'all realize that when they sit this, even the moon landers now, you have people who have told you time and time again through these communities that landing on the moon ain't real. Here go Trump done released all of Kennedy's CIA information, and he's still down with the program. Uh, he wanted to find out what it is that the secret documents held so he can be able to put all his full force of all his money. You know how many stars right now are mortgaging off their homes, according to news now, the media. You know how the media like to exaggerate. Mortgaging their homes. They're able to afford their homes. They're mortgaging their $1 million mansions to invest in what Trump and the UK and Elon them about to do. And they somehow, I don't know, don't they realize they can't win? The Pope that sat there all this time, he was even in a coma, y'all. They ain't tell y'all that. He was even in a coma, and he been showed what's gonna happen. And he's sitting up there doing all that on his last breath. It still ain't gonna tell y'all the truth. He's still on his last. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Let me get my breath in. Let me get my breath. Breathe. And you still ain't gonna tell the truth. Okay, that's on you. That's on you, France. You, Francis. Am I gonna be able to catch my last breath in time? Whew. Hey, look, I fixed my glasses. I fixed my glasses. I'm so happy. I was so happy. I was so happy. I improvised, but I did it. I improvised. Look how thin that one is. And then look at that side. I improvised, but I did it. I fixed my glasses. These are my favorite glasses. I got like 6 or 7 glasses here. These are my favorite. All right. So I want to go over this document. I want to go over this document. I don't know what. Ain't nowhere to where I'm checking volumes this time. I'm not for to be talking for nothing. I'm checking volumes this time. Okay, so right now, supposedly, Disney is having little fire issues, right? Right at Epcot Center. If you would go back some years ago, I've talked about Epcot Center. And I talked about my experience with Epcot Center and how there was a time that I was grounded for talking so much in elementary, and all the children of the church went to Epcot Center except for me. All of my the little cousins, everybody was able to go to Epcot Center and Disney on a field trip through the church, except for me. I can't remember what I did so bad that, or what I said so bad, or what I did in school, in elementary school, so bad that this trip that was planned out for months, all the little children in the church got to go except for me to Epcot Center. And I believe that's where I was saved. how I wasn't able to get put to sleep. So I told that story about Epcot Center, and I did a little investigation about Epcot Center. And of course, y'all know the different bills and knowledge and woke uh, information out there about Epcot Center and Disney. So woke that even DeSantis, Governor DeSantis, had a whole let's shut down Disney and something with a clause for UK or King Charles them. A King Charles clause prevented him from doing what he wanted to do about the Disney. But now after he done sent all this tax money, he trying to make sure his ends clean. That money that been poured into him and his wife's foundation and everywhere else, that he can scrape up money and make sure he don't get caught in the crossfire of people getting fired and pulled out of office and all that. Oh, Florida gonna get it. I'm so sorry, DeSantis. Florida gonna get it. You don't have enough money right now to get Florida out of what they for the fall up deep up under the muddy waters of Disney for. Anyways, once he sent that money, now all of a sudden, Epcot Center on fire. But that don't have nothing to do. Epcot Center being on fire ain't got nothing to do with Florida or King Charles, and whatever communication that Trump trying to do with King Charles. He said, we're going to put United States right back up under UK rule. They got so much going on in the news right now. It's just ridiculous. If you believe that, you might not be far from if you wish upon a star. So this is what it has to do with. Prime Minister Modi and Elon Musk. Now, of course, there's branches of other beings involved. Of course, everybody who put their bid in under the cathedral at Notre Dame, they all have a hand in this illumination and conduction and reconstruction of purchasing your light code, or purchasing your light if you accept the mark of the beast. And if you accept the mark of beast, you'll be left behind. But Elon Starlink right now is still looking for funding and expansion. And according to the challenge between him and Prime Minister Modi, is their network, I don't know what satellites they are connected to, but their network has over 500 million subscribers. 500 million subscribers. And Elon only has a couple of million subscribers. That's part one. Part two. Remember that I said that Sonny is related to Prime Minister Modi them. So the chiefs and heads of departments were betting on this doppelganger Sunni or Pandya to come, the Pandya princess to come through and be brought in under disguise of the United States. All their funding and betting in and stakeholding in that event was all funded through one part or partial of Disney. Now, when I show you this document says 2023. And this document goes into 2024. The last of the comments for this document had to be in by 2023. But it was a planned out event all the way up until this event that just happened. That view that they show us of the landing that happened did not happen off the coast of Florida. It happened on Disney's property. I'm going to say it again. And everything that follows around or is involved around that space rescue is being played out from this one document that I'm about to show you. Let me go back a little bit and talk about property. Under war, the land that the people dwell on, no one holds the title to the land in time of war. The title of the land goes to the largest stakeholder of the real estate property. Now, remember, I showed y'all a document last year where NASA, who is primarily controlled by Disney, NASA put in the bid to own the real estate of the United States in the time of war. Now, once Elon became primary stakeholder and privatized over NASA, that gives him all of real estate property control in time of war. So I don't know if anybody remembers, or you could go back to that live I did, and I said, Elon, what is it? According to scripture, the way things are playing out, that scene that he did with the landing and the date and the time, the God of war, all of it was synchronized with initiating the war. So now here we are. I'm going to take you back to this document, because when I saw Disney and this thing, and I'm like, okay, Epcot Center, Disney, the whole, even down to JFK. Remember, Disney had a park back then. Almost all of the transitions of war was controlled, and the filming was controlled by Disney. That never changed. That never changed. So let me just take you to this document so I can explain it a little bit better. So here we are. Oh, Grandma, that don't say nothing about Disney. That Grandma doesn't say anything about Disney, Grandma. It doesn't say anything about Elon Musk and Disney. It says hazardous material notice on special permits. Okay, Department of Transportation. Grandma, that's what it say. Let's scroll on down. There's the pipeline, that word pipeline. And I kept hawking on pipeline, huh? Hawking on pipeline. Here, let's scroll on down. Donald Burger. So wouldn't it be nice to know that any type of burger, Burger King, a McDonald's burger, go hand in hand with Disney, huh? Donald Berger, Chief Office of Hazardous Material General Provisions. And say, but Grandma, what are you talking about? This don't have nothing to do with SpaceX. Yes, it do. Special permits granted. This special permit granting that happened July 2023 was a permit for the same event that just happened. The comments for it and people and the stakeholders had to have their information in by August 4, 2023. You can see that provisions for this permit and special other special circumstances was still being revised January 30th, 2024. Then you see still provisions that went on until everything was finalized. So these are some of the companies. First off, there's NASA and the provisions. Special permit to authorize and update rupture disc and relief valve updating the transportation routes. And some people say, no, that has to do with the time that the ship exploded. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. This is for the current landing that happened. And you know that based on these different companies that are involved. This thalassemia, I covered the word thales the other day when I was talking about showing you the spells. Atlas Air, Honeywell Intellectual Property, environmental restoration. All this has to do with the space dragon. And you keep going on. Look, consumer product safety, Astra Space Operations. I could take and go through all of these different companies. Who's the main stakeholder for Disney? Vanguard. Vanguard, not as the stakeholder. Vanguard is the one that holds the financial institution of Disney. If anybody of those who have come through and listened and saw, if you go to Vanguard, remember I showed you a picture of the owner of Vanguard, or the founder of Vanguard, and I called him the boogeyman. So now here we get to Space Exploration Technologies Corp. to authorize the transportation of commerce of the recovered Dragon 2 space capsule from the landing site to its final destination. Walt Disney Parks and Resorts to authorize the transportation of commerce in certain waste, pyrotechnic articles and substances. Gateway Pyrotechnic Productions to authorize transportation of commerce seized. Look at this now. This is something that's going to happen now. So they just got rescued last week. All of this is still taking place. Everything in this document is playing out play by play. So whatever explosive products coming out of Denver, Colorado, and St. Louis, Missouri We need you, if you're in that area, need to go to Federal Register and find out what environmental impact statement that they have going on for that area coming up soon. Don't say, Grandma, I didn't tell you. This is not no prophecy. This is what their tablets, just like, let me show you something. Just like the words in here, the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. This book is a contract, a binding contract between heaven and earth. Of course, they went in and they played Scrabble with the words and made it where we had to rightly divide the word of truth, but the Son was sent so that we would have the code in our DNA to be able to rightly divide it, so that you will not accept the mark of the beast in the last days. But there are those who will be fooled. There are those who will not be awoken. Those are the ones whose names who will potentially be blotted out of the book of light and life that was created before the foundations of all this man-made stuff. And that's what they are betting on. They are betting to have more than the 9.8 million words, no, 98 million words of light and life that Elon wants to upload in their programs for those who be left behind. So again, this document I'm showing you, it's not me prophesying anything. It's them doing the same technique that the Bible was written under. So they already went to commerce. They already pulled the dragon off of the waters of Disney. But now here's the next play. Authorization to authorize transportation of commerce of hazardous suspected counterfeit explosives from Denver, Colorado to St. Louis. All being played out by Disney now. To authorize special transportation of commerce to a single non-DOT specification cylinder containing silane, not saline, silane. Even in one of wait a minute, something, this name right here came up for me. This guy right here, the CEO of Vanguard. The CEO of Vanguard. And again, the Vanguard holds the funds. They are the holders for Disney. Now, according to what's going on in the news, whatever happened at Epcot Center for the fire that's happened in a refrigerated unit, supposedly, right? Air Liquide Electronics US. Here we go. In the 7th play. Then they come down here for some more testing that's supposed to happen. This is the permits that were denied. And these are the permits. Remember when Elon said these people would have been saved. They would have been rescued. The doppelgangers would have been here. But the government was playing games with whatever. If they were playing games with these other special permits that he need to be able to purchase the light and to be able to have a smooth deal with Prime Minister Modi. Again, the main focus was not Butch when these doppelgangers came in on that space dragon. It was the Pandya princess. She was the main focus. Prime Minister Modi, when he sat down while Elon little android was recording data and recording all that information, he sat down in that meeting with Prime Minister Modi. This is what they were going over right here. This same document, this same tablet, this same prophetic. So that's what you see what's going on with Disney right now. This is it right here. And why the joint, all of a sudden the collaboration, Trump all of a sudden now collaborating, talking about United States could be joining union, a whole unified, of course, the one word order, but how it's all synchronizing up under Disney. Who is the pro mega corporation? Elon needed all these permits to go through. Who is the Kitty Technologies? He needed all of this to go through. The Kamau, look at these names. Then they had some that was withdrawn. He wasn't hearing it. He needed Rocket Lab US to authorize transportation and commerce of ammonia, anhydrous by cargo, air, and motor vehicle. Ferguson and Sons Construction. He needed that there. Definitely the lithium ion batteries. And why did they withdraw FBI? To authorize transportation and commerce of drug evidence. Drug? What drugs? What drugs? Which drugs did they cover up for this Disney event? For this Disney event, Honeywell, and there's the Thalassa. Every time I pass by this, I'm seeing Thalassa. Thales Alenia Space. Let me go to this and see what this is. What is Thales Alenia Space? Oh, that's why the French man came over here and had so much to say. Huh? That's why the French man came over here and had so much to say. Huh? Look at this right here. Look at that. Thales Alenia Space is a joint venture between French Technology and the Thales Group, and Italian defense conglomerate Leonardo. Huh? It's always something. Leonardo. I could say Leonardo DiCaprio. I could say another Leonardo. But I said enough that I had to say about him today. This company is headquartered where see, remember I told y'all it's two different types of Canaanites. And the ones that come from the original Cain, who intermingled with the monkeys of Nod, that's them right here. Don't say, Grandma, what you saying. They believe in the Darwinism. They know that they ancestors messed with monkeys. That's why they always studying the monkeys. So see right there. It provides space-based systems, including satellites and ground segments used for telecommunications, navigation, Earth observation, and space exploration, and scientific purposes. They have modules called harmony and tranquility. And y'all know they say this, right? But what did I tell y'all? How come ISS out there and ISS always roaming or supposedly in an Earth's lower orbit, but you never see any of these satellites out there? You don't never run into none of these satellites. Now, according to them, because it's all on Disneyland. It's all on Disneyland. According to this right here, the company is also an important industrial partner towards the development of Lunar Gateway. Thales Alenia Space is has 17 industrial plants in Europe, as well as venture in the United States. Leo Stella. This joint venture with Seattle-based company Black Sky Global, Black Skies, is mostly dedicated to development of Black Sky Pathfinder high revisit optical constellation. So it's a high revisit optical constellation. Look at this. Look at these words and these names in here. Like, as I scan through really fast, like I can decipher these names. Look at this. Look at this. Uh-oh, there go Bally. There go Bowen. ExoMars. There go ExoMars. Look at that. So they have a solo orbiter that they call the sun. They already got their fake sun out there ready, huh? They antichrist. They fake sun. They got their Mercury, and their Mercury is called BP Colombo. Oh, they got the Exo. No, these are the satellites that they have that's circling these. They know they're not. No, they're not. Uh-oh, there go Chime. There go Crystal. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here because that's not the part that is so important, that these documents right here show you how they're laying out your new world. A whole new world. Huh? A whole new world. So once again, for your own proof, the space dragon did not land with those doppelgangers, did not land out there off of Florida coast. It landed in Florida on that big lake that or whatever it is that Disney have. It landed in those waters. Okay? Just for your information. And that's that. Elon, I knew I would catch you. I knew I would catch you in your dirt. Elon, I knew I would catch you in your dirt. Huh? Now let's go to scripture. That's all I really wanted to cover. I couldn't, you know what? I saw this yesterday. And I said, nope, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. But I had to. And then I was going to go live and talk about it this morning. And I found other things that I wanted to talk about. I found other things that I wanted to do a little short about. It don't matter if only one person see it. I keep telling y'all, I grew up in churches all of the churches that I went to that I liked was small. When we moved to Rich Man Heights, when we finally moved to Rich Man Heights, I definitely wasn't trying to go and wanted to go. I was forced to go to that mediocre sized church. It wasn't no mega church. Wasn't like Glendale and them other churches, but it was a nice sized church, and I didn't enjoy that. I like being at churches where one or two or three are gathered. Like I said, if y'all ever wanted to have stopped something, you might have wanted to make sure that I had 10,000 or 1,000. I would have shut up a long time ago, maybe. I never was the type that had a bunch of friends. Every friend that I've had, they can tell you, yeah, Abigail always only has one or two. That's one or two are gathered. A lot of people may know me. Where two or three are gathered in his name. Let's go to the scripture. Now I could go to the scripture that now that you can see. If you can't see with your own eyes you go to the news, see what's going on in the news, but go immediately to the Federal Register. You go to the Federal Register, it will let you know whether that's real news or fake news. You don't have to wait for the media to come out and say, or somebody to say that's false news. Like, now certain things you should just know naturally. If it's within your code, let's say they did something to you, and these are the days you've been living right and righteous. This is the days you get to see God just take it and say, yep, whew, and this one for you, If you've been praying for something, so God, the wicked that was done to me, let me see you handle them before I go. You'll see it. So things like me, like I see Netflix being affected. Yep. Mm-hmm. The FBI and CIA, police departments, Florida, all of Florida institution is going to be under scrutiny. All of it. The system crumbled. Anything that had to directly affect me, like Social Security. Social Security Administration, that ain't no game. Y'all know who tormented me the most within the last years before I was totally reborn, before I became a new creature, before once I was lost and now I was found and I can see. You know who tormented me the most in the last? Social Security Administration. So much that I had to write on the back. I wrote a note after I said this much, a stack like this. Yep. Especially the last doctor. And that last doctor was a doctor who was a doctor in my case in Florida. He had sat in front of me before. And I knew who he was, and when I said Social Security, getting it. You getting it too, But besides that, if you see stuff in the news and you want to know if it's real, if it's going to happen or whatever, you just go to the Federal Register. Like I said, right now, if you in St. Louis, whatever bomb or whatever that they talk about in this document right here, in accordance to the gameplay that Elon just did, and they want to be able to transport, okay, like right here, they already picked up the cargo from Space Dragon as it landed in the water. This right here, authorized transportation of Congress, a seized suspected counterfeit explosives from Denver. Suspected counterfeit doesn't mean it's counterfeit. The air, liquid, whatever, liquid out of the coolant that's supposed to cause flames in Disney. That part right there didn't happen. They skipped that part. This part, I don't know what they waiting on. But maybe they waiting on somebody to make sure send a message to those to, hey, go ahead, type in your city and state. And if you see the word environmental impact, like right now, Hawaii is under environmental impact watch right now, and that's in Federal Register. Let me show you what they use, the name that they use for the environmental impact that's supposed to happen right now to Hawaii. They got it under the rebirth of their sacred rituals. What's the name they use? Papa. Here, Papa. Oh, Waika. You know what? Hold up. I could do even better. Because I think it was in one of the most recent documents. So let me go to, it's in one of these documents right here, current issue. And where is it? Environmental, oh no, serious area. Okay, here's another environmental impact. Fairbanks, North Star Borough. That's in Alaska. So it's not just going to affect Hawaii, it's going to affect Alaska too. Okay, so that's that document. Where's the one for Hawaii? Where is it? Come on. Oh, don't tell me they done moved it. I hate when they do that. Uh-oh, what's happening at the prisons? Where is that document? Child welfare system. CDC got something new out. I'm not studying that right now. They always gonna have diseases. Like, why would Trump even want to join Ventures, Waters of the United States? Why would he want to join venture with UK when UK got a whole disease come out, talking about Newcastle disease running rampant? That's gonna affect the United States. Oh, because he in on it. Stakeholders, the water. They keep talking about the water here. I didn't go over that document, but that's not where I'm. Where is this? Oh man. Okay. Let's see. There it. Nope. Where's the new one? Y'all, they done moved it. Wait a minute. I know how I can find it. I gotta show you this one because this is like so current. It's an environmental impact statement, but they use the old tribal name over it. Like they doing a whole reincantation of the origins of the birth of land. Oh goodness. Here, it may be in my phone. Let's see. It may be in my phone because I was researching the name. I was like, what does this name mean? Uh, there it is. 324. Here, watch this long name I'm about to type in. Watch this long name I'm for to type in here. Okay, ready? Let me make it large. Oh, goodness. I done came out. Oh, there it is. Okay, here it is. PAPH. And then they put America in there, the old way of America, or the original name, Ahmad Kra. uh, in which has to do with the water in Moku. Let's see if that pull up any results. Oh, they play gays, y'all. They play. Oh my goodness. I need to screenshot this then. I need to screenshot this because I promise you, this document was here earlier. And then HANAUMO. Okay, they must have just put it there for me. KEA. There it is. There it is. There it is. Oh, Bush had something to do with that. It was something in there about Bush. So, well, where's the newest one? Y'all, they moved it. Let's see if it's in. They moved it. So they literally, actually, I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna screenshot this while I'm here and show you how they had this updated for. It says designation for sanctuary. And it ain't the 3-1, it's 3/24/25. Wow. Wow. They maybe because they knew I was going to talk about it, or they just put it up there for their people to know what's going on, but not really for the people to know what's going on. Because in this document it shows it as an environmental impact. Let me go under notices. Let me click because it's not under a rule. It's under the documents, the 67 documents. Oh, y'all. So this is serious. This is really serious to the fact that, or the point of the matter that they removed this document. Let me see what I have it under for 3/24/25 under the 67 documents. Let's see if did I skip over it. It was on the first page. Oh yeah, they went in here and changed it, y'all. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Wow. So let me go ahead and send this over to um my comment section right now. Select more comment section. Here we go. Live. What time is it? 7:40. What's today's date? So this document's supposed to be out for tomorrow. They moved it from here sometime today because I'm telling you, while I was working earlier, I was researching and the words, what that long word about Hawaii means. And impact statement and sanctuary removed. Impact and sanctuary statement removed. All right. So I just posted it. And then the one that I just saw here that in regards to President Bush, I want to go back over that. Uh-oh. They blocking my screen. They blocking my screen. Oh no. They locking me out. Here we go. Well, they only locking me out of the Federal Register right now. Let's see. Yep. They got my screen frozen in the Federal Register. So let me go ahead and read from the Bible. Let me go ahead and read from the Bible. Let me make sure they ain't got me blocked at all the way. Yeah, because they got me stuck on this Federal Register screen right here. They don't want me talking about it, y'all. They don't want me to show you no more. They don't want me to show you no more. Oh. That's messed up. All right. So Jesus warns of the, nope, I did that. When Jesus speaks about God's children, Jesus heals the man who was born blind. As he was walking along, he saw a blind man from birth. My brother was born blind. Master, his disciples asked him, "Why is this man born blind? Was it the result of his own sins or of his parents? Back then, you was born with deformities or born with something wrong with you. They automatically assumed it was the sin of the parents or your own sins." That's the days where people held themselves accountable. Neither, Jesus answered, sometimes in nature. But to demonstrate the power of God, nature will always demonstrate the power of God. There was a man lost at sea, according to the news. Who knows whether it was made up by artificial intelligence or not. And he almost gave up. He said he pulled out his knife a couple of times to take his own life, being lost out there at sea. And then he found a way to kill birds, even though he didn't want to, and drink turtle blood because he didn't have nothing to drink. And he survived and he made it. And he said he owes it all to the power of God. And if it wasn't for God, but to demonstrate the power of God, sometimes it isn't until you realize that everything that you went through had really nothing to do with you. When you are in the right, when you are in the right, there's a lot of wrong things I could say that I've done, but there's a lot of things that has come upon me that I was innocent and still am to this day. And so it was always, oh, poor me. That's how I looked at it. Poor me. Now I realize it was for his purpose. And he made sure through every step that I took that he had the perfect solution for me to be able to be here to tell you about it and about him and his glory and who he is, and that he's returning. Because if I would have kept playing the victim and that it was all about me, I'll be lost somewhere still somewhere, lost on some medication in one of the stakeholders facilities. Poor me. But to demonstrate the power of God, all of us must quickly carry out tasks assigned us by the one who sent you. The one who sent you. There's tasks that you need to. This is not no fear factor, Joe Rogan type stuff. Because none of that shows the power of God. None of it shows you how love and light shared amongst those who was on a fear factor could change the world. None of those testify to the coming of God to cleanse the world of all the evil wickedness that exists. All the children that are suffering. You know, right now they're making plans. If Disney is inside that document too, of hospitals filled with children who are going to need kidneys. And they're going to practice and target practice with the 3D printing kidneys. All through Elon Musk and their his Solomon's house and Solomon's temple fellows technology. New hearts, new kidneys, new eyes. For there is little time left before night falls, and all work comes to an end. You know, nightfall is going to be when the sun burns out and there's no need for sun anymore. There's no need for that light. Because all of the light that you need will come straight from God. There'll be no need for the sun or the moon. Because the light from the true sun will shine. You won't need light. But while those who will be left behind, when darkness falls, you'll be left in artificial light that they'll have, that they've created. And I just showed you where they're doing it. But while I am still here in the world, I give my light. Then he spat on the ground and made mud from the spittle and smoothed the mud over the blind man's eye and told him, go and wash in the pool of Siloam. Now listen, the blind man was able to communicate, and you know, a blind person can hear really well. Now, the blind man, when Jesus spat, could have asked, what are you doing? Spitting. What you finna do with that spit? You know, there's a lot of blind people that got more mouth than a little bit. Huh? And a blind person can get an attitude, including a blind person who has autism. Blind person have feelings just like a man that can see. And they can have attitudes. I can tell you, my brother When my brother transitioned, the war in Israel broke out. When they put dust over my brother, the war broke out. But here's a little story about my brother. I think I told it before. He didn't like all that all that loud talking in his ear and all that yelling and screaming. Just like nobody really likes all that. And sometimes my mother, back in the day, she would get up and she would start first thing in the morning and last thing at night. Rah, 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 rah. And when my brother finally started getting fed up, he'll do little things to annoy. His biggest thing he would do, uh, I always tell him, don't you do that while I'm here. Because you know me, I'm going to make you help me clean up your boo-boo. My brother, way in his 30s, he know how to get up under my mama's skin. He get mad and get tired of a mess. He will boo-boo and then wipe it all over the room and in his head and on the walls and on the pillow and all. But one time my Aunt Gotti was there. My Aunt Gotti, she was soft-spoken. She was the queen. I believe Dr. Sabi met her and got his recipes and his regimens and information from my Aunt Gotti. Huh? And know the Bible from front to back. She was Angelic Margaret of the Bahamas. Huh? I still remember there's a picture that my mother had with her and her youth groups, and all of them was in green. One of their moms still have that picture. Anyways, Aunt Gotti didn't do that much fussing. But I guess this day, it just shocked all of us. Aunt Gotti was just in one of them little fussing moods. And I guess, bothered my brother. Now, my brother was sitting facing our glass door. So there's the glass door, and this is where we sit. The TV's here in the corner, and there's the big glass door. And my Aunt Gotti was way back by the front door before you get to the kitchen, before you go to the garage. That's how far back she was. And she was rushing him to tie his shoes. So my brother, he pulled one of the shoes off and threw it right at her. I'm talking about perfect aim with his back turned and her all the way over in the corner. Perfect aim, my brother. But I noticed when I was looking, I was like, "Keep what you smiling about." He said, "Nothing." I said, "Key, yeah, buddy." I said, "Don't, it's okay. Go ahead. You want me to help you tie your shoe?" No. And he took that shoe off and it went straight towards our guy. That's one of the most funniest things about some of the stuff that he did. He always kept me laughing. But that right there, I'm talking about I laughed all day. Every time I looked at him, I looked at my Aunt Gotti. My Aunt Gotti, that was my grandmother's sister. Yes, 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 yes. So what my point is, the blind man could have very well asked God, wait a minute, Jesus, what you doing? What you about to do? I just heard you spit. What do you... And then he could have rejected. He could have been like, "No, I don't want your spit on my eyes. I know what spit is." But no. The blind man, he took and spit and smoothed the mud over the blind man's eyes and told him, "Go wash in the pool." And the pool means sent. The word for this pool means sent. So the man went where he was sent and washed and came back seeing. So he went and washed his face and now he could see. His neighbors and others knew him as the blind beggar and asked each other, wait a minute, is that the same dude? That's the beggar? That's the one who was homeless and blind? And some said yes, and some said no. It can't be the same man, they thought, but he surely looks like him. So the beggar said, I am the same man. Now, so they act like the blind man can't hear. But the blind man could hear very well, so he just responded, and he did it with an exclamation point. He said, I'm that man. I'm the same one. That's me. That's me. See, I can see. But not only can I see what y'all whispering about, I can hear. And then they asked him, well, how in the world can you see? What had happened? And it says it just like that in this Bible. It says, what had happened? And he told him, a man they called Jesus. He didn't say that's his name. Remember I told y'all the other day? He didn't say that that's Jesus' name. I told you when you're born again, you'll know what the name is. And people who could dispute that, that's on you. Because if Jesus was the name, by that name, his name, we are healed. And you only know that name and you're healed, truly healed in mind and soul when you're saying the true name. If it was Jesus, everybody would already be saved. Jesus is a name that they called him. Christ was a name that they called him. So say the man named Jesus, the man they called Jesus, made mud and smoothed it over my eyes and told me to go to the pool of Siloam and wash off the mud. And I did, and now I can see. And they was like, well, where is he now? They asked. He said, I don't know. Then they took the man to the Pharisees. They was like, oh no, we got to take you to the Pharaohs. Ain't no way in the world. This can't be real. Now, as it happened, this occurred on the Sabbath. So now, not only is Jesus taking spit and mud and putting it on a man's eye and then telling him to go to wash in a holy pool, but he not only did that, he did it on the Sabbath. Oh boy. And then the Pharisees asked him, ain't nobody did more worshiping on the Sabbath than the Pharaohs. Y'all ain't noticed that? The Pharaohs is the ones that controlled the Sabbath. So when Jesus said, y'all be careful now. I mean, nobody can judge you about your Sabbaths and your full moons and all this different worship that you're doing. But God is the God of Sabbath. You can't tell me what I can and cannot do on the Sabbath that came down from Egypt, out of Egypt. Remember, Moses rolled and ruled Egypt before he came and told you what to do on the Sabbath. All the things that you doing in your religion came straight out of Egypt. You done forgot? You done forgot that Moses was raised in Egypt before he came and wrote all these laws and told you what you shall and cannot do? Oh no, I ain't talking against Moses. I'm telling you that the same Sabbath that you having a scrutiny and debates about came from Egypt in the first place. But anyway, so the Pharaohs, because people don't realize the Pharisees and the Pharaohs are the same people. The Bible clearly distinguishes when it says the Pharaohs and the Jewish leaders and the Jewish Orthodox leaders and the Romans. It always specifies. It don't be no confusion. And when the Pharaohs and the Jewish leaders get together, the Pharaohs controlled the holidays and the holy days. Moses brought it right along with him. Said, we're going to tell you what you can and cannot do on a Sabbath, on our Sabbath. So they took the blind man to the Pharaohs And oh boy, all this happened on the Sabbath. And the Pharisees asked him all about it. So he told them how Jesus smoothed the mud over his eyes, gave him a facial mask, and then washed it away, and he could see. Some of them said, this fellow Jesus is not from God. He said, you done been healed. We telling you right now, that ain't of God. Because he is working on the Sabbath. Who said that? The Pharaohs. Who said something about working on the Sabbath? The Pharaohs. I remember the first debate I had with my first husband, middle name Jesus. And I said, yeah, but the Pharaoh's the one that controlled the Sabbath. Sabbath came, Moses brought the Sabbath out of Egypt and still gave it to the people. And some things he kept and held a hold of. That's why everything didn't go good with the Ten Commandments. That's why he was mad. That's why he broke up the tablets, because he didn't get what God had on the tablets. When God wrote with his own, Moses broke it up, remember? Y'all forgot? Nobody remember that part of the story. Nobody remember that God wrote some laws. Moses got mad when he was coming off the mountain and he broke it up. So whatever the new laws is that came after that, and whatever stones that he had to go write them all over himself, he did some scribble scrabble. But nobody remember that part of the story. Anyways, back to the Pharaohs. Back to the Pharaohs. So the Pharaohs, they say, y'all know what? We Pharaohs, we know what come from God and don't come from God. And he can't be from God because he healed on the Sabbath. And we are Sabians. We are Sabians. And if you healing on our Sabian sabbatic days, you can't be from God. So others said, but how could an ordinary sinner do such miracles? So there was deep division of opinion among them. They all had their own perspectives. Then the Pharisees turned on the man who had been blind and demanded. They didn't say they turned to him. They turned on him. That means they threatened him. They're like, hey, this man who opened your eyes, who do you say he is, huh? Who you say he is? We said he ain't a God, huh? Open your mouth. Who you say he is, huh? Huh? You better, because now he done healed your eyes. You can see. Huh? That means you finna go be telling people and talking. So, who you say he is? You know the Pharaohs be gang. They be having their dagger squads. And then they trickle on down. They have Aboriginal gangsters with shiesties. And Pan Americans with machetes. And flat earthers with spears or boomerangs. So who you say he is? They turned on him. And he said, I think, he didn't say, at first he was talking with so much positivity. My man was like, Jesus did it. Huh? That man, they called Jesus. Look, I can see who you talking to. I can hear and see. It's Jesus. He was like, I think. He changed his whole way of talking. He said, I think he must be a prophet sent from God. The Jewish leaders wouldn't believe he had been blind until they called And his parents had asked him. So now there's like, now, okay, we got him to say he don't know for sure that he a prophet and he from God. We got that taken care of. Now we got to see if this story check out. Let's call his parents. Remember I said there's stories that even in the Bible where Jesus with his brothers, his own brothers, he said, yeah, they ain't gonna believe anything about me and they not gonna believe on me. But you, my family members, my brother, my sister, my mama, my daddy, y'all go, the world love you. You gonna be all right. They'll listen to you. Well, it's the same thing here. They believe, they don't want to believe this man, so that night they gonna go check with his parents. And it says here, it say, um, is this your son who was born blind? If so, how could he see? And his parents replied, we know this is our son and that he was born blind, but we don't know what happened to make him see and who did it. He is old enough to speak for himself. Ask him. So they don't want to get involved. They don't want to have no problem and no dramas with the Pharisees, with the lawyers, with the paralegals, with the police officers, with the 11th judicial system, or the DCF, DFACS. They don't want no problems, Supreme Court, court justices. They don't want no problems. But I bet you if they could go back and sue whoever said that their son was born blind and wasn't going to be able to see again, they would have did that. Probably. But anyways, they say, nah, we don't know. Why you asking us? He grown. Talk to him. And they said this in fear of the Jewish leaders. See, like I said, who had announced that anyone saying Jesus was the Messiah would be excommunicated or killed. If you stand up and say anything that halfway supports love and light of Christ, we gonna disown you, or we gonna kill you, or so watch your mouth. So for the second time, they called the man. They called the man back after they had talked to his parents. The man who had been blind told them, give the glory to God, not to Jesus. For we know Jesus is an evil person. So that's what they telling him. It's like, it's okay that you go ahead and talk about being able to see, but you need to skip over Jesus. Because we trying to arrest him and kill him. You skip over Jesus and you'll be all right. But if you don't shut your mouth, talk about Jesus and the Messiah, we're going to poke your eyes out. I don't know whether he is good or bad, the man replied, but I know this. I was blind and now I see. The blind man said, look, all right, that's how it's going to go down. I know one thing. I was blind and now I can see. But what did he do? They asked. How did he heal you? Look, the man explained. I told you once. Didn't you listen to me? Why do you want to hear it again? Do you want to become his disciples too? Oh, now he gets slick. Then they cursed him and said, you are his disciple, but we are disciples of Moses. This is the Pharaohs talking now. We know God has spoken to Moses, but as for this fellow, we don't know anything about him. Why, that's very strange, the man replied. He can heal blind men, and yet you don't know anything about him. Well, God doesn't listen to evil men, but he has opened ears to those who worship him and do his will. Since the world began, there has never been anyone who could open the eyes of someone born blind. If this man were not from God, he couldn't do it. And then here they go. They done called now. They about to cuss him out. You illegitimate bastard, you, they shouted. Are you trying to teach us? and they threw him out. Because now, all this time, the blind man could hear. So he had knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. He just wasn't able to see. Huh? And now that he can see, they feel like, oh, who you think you talking to? Now you gonna come try to school us? We pharaohs. Huh? And who you think you talking to? So now, when Jesus heard what had happened, he found the man and said, do you believe in the Messiah? The man answered, who is he, sir? For I want to. You have seen him, Jesus said, and he is speaking to you. Yes, Lord, the man said, I believe. And he worshiped Jesus. Then Jesus told him, look, okay, I have come into the world to give sight to those who are spiritually blind and to show those things who think they see, those who think they see, that they are blind. The Pharisees who were standing there asked, are you saying we are blind? If you were blind, you wouldn't be guilty. If you were blind, if you couldn't see, then you wouldn't be held accountable. But look, if you were blind, you wouldn't be guilty. Jesus replied, but your guilt remains because you claim that you know what you're doing. I love that. I love that part. So I'm going to leave that. A blind man could see if you study to show yourself approved unto God. Huh? If you study to show yourself approved, a blind man can see that in the Federal Register documents that Elon's ship with the doppelgangers landed on Disney's lake, and that these things in the Federal Register are their holy tablets, and that they are following their scripts, and that they plan to purchase you, your light code, and everything is aligned with scripture. And you do not want to be left behind with what they and their so-called fellow pharaohs have in store for you. Pharaohs come in all shapes, forms, and colors. And they believe in what the government is doing. They believe in taxation. They believe in taxing their tenants and letting the tenants pay the taxes that the government say they don't even pay. Government say we ain't paying no taxes. We don't pay the taxes. The people, the tenants of the United States pay the taxes. Greater light. I'm going to go find a song to write. Greater light, study to show thyself approved. God is on the way.